Hey everybody, we are about to make a dessert, one of my favorites because it's lemon and it's called Lemon Lush. It's in my first cookbook, so if you have this cookbook, you already have the recipe and you can follow along. Also, the lady that does my merchandise, she made this cutting board, but it can also be hung up, and it is my recipe, Lemon Lush, right here, etched on this piece of wood. So it's very nice. So I'm just going to prop this up in the background, and then you can probably see that sitting back there. But that's what we're going to make tonight. We are going to start with 1 stick of melted butter, and I'm going to melt this right in this 9x13 pan that I have, because we're going to use it in there, and that way none of it will go to waste. We can melt it right in this pan. I'm going to put this pan up in the microwave and melt it. So that is melting. We are going to crush up 1 package, and I bought the family size because the other didn't look big enough, so I don't know if we'll use the whole amount or not. But we're going to start crushing them up in our Ninja. So I'm going to put some down in this Ninja. And I don't know how many it'll take at a time, but we'll try that. Put the lid on it and crush these right on up. And I'm going to get them real fine. Let's see if our butter melted. Nope, not yet. All right, I had it on 30 seconds, but my butter was a little cold. All right, let me just make sure we got these good. I love this little Ninja, y'all. Boy, it is the ticket. All right, we're just gonna do a little bit at a time. I'm gonna go ahead and get the butter out and finish doing all these cookies. We got our butter all melted. We are going to add our crumbs, our cookie crumbs. Get the last batch out of here. I did all of them except about 5, because this was the big family pack. So I think that was plenty. You probably could use the regular pack. All right, we're just going to mix this up. Mix all the butter up with your crumbs, and then we are going to press that in the bottom of this pan. And let's just get it good and mixed, and then we're going to press it all down. All right, next we're going to take 1 8-ounce block of softened cream cheese and a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, and then we're going to add about a 1/2 container of, I got an 8-ounce Cool Whip, so we are going to put about half of that in, about 1.5 cups of the Cool Whip. So let me get this stirred up first. Right, I got this good and stirred up like that, kind of creamy. And now I'm going to put about half of it in there. It's supposed to be 1.5 cups, maybe about like that. Some of it out of there. And mix that up in here. And get this good and creamy. Okay, when you get that mixed up good, go ahead and put it in here. This is your next layer, and you're just going to spread that out over top of your cookie crumbs. And that's going to make the second layer. So let me get it spread out here. Next, we're going to take 2 small boxes of lemon instant pudding. And I just rinsed this bowl out. I'm going to use the same one. And to this, we are going to add, these are the small boxes. 2 small boxes. We're going to add 3 cups of milk. And we are just going to whisk this around. And this will be our next layer, the pudding layer. And you know, it takes about 5 minutes to set up some pudding. We're just going to get this stirred up good and then we'll pour it over. All right, here we go. We're going to pour this over. And if you're not a lemon lover, you can easily use any kind of pudding that you want to use. You could use chocolate, and it could be chocolate Lush. So, just pick your favorite pudding. I've never made it with the chocolate because I love the lemon, but I'm sure the chocolate would be delicious. Alright, and just spread this out. It's pretty much going to spread itself out, but spread that out. And we're just going to let that sit up for a couple minutes while we go on to the next step. Alright, I actually put it in the refrigerator for a couple minutes just to let that pudding set up, because next we're going to have to spread the rest of our Cool Whip on it. But I forgot we were supposed to hold out a little bit of the cookie crumbles to sprinkle on top. But y'all know I told you I had a few extra. So I'm going to go ahead and just crush these up. And we're going to sprinkle them on top at the end. All right. And you can do this as coarse or as fine as you want. All right, as soon as them come out, we have what's left in our container. And I'm just going to mix this up because mine was still a little cold in the middle. Whip this up. This is going to be our next layer right here. All right, here we go, the last layer. And I did put this in the refrigerator just to let that pudding set up a little bit, because then it's easier to spread this last layer on here. All right, let me get all this spread. Okay, the finishing touch is your little crumbs. This just makes it pretty. So don't forget to reserve some. It does tell you that in the recipe, but I forgot. But luckily we had bought the big pack, so we still had some. And that's going to be it, y'all. Put this and cover it. I'm going to cover it with saran wrap. And then I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator till it's ready to eat. I said I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator till it's ready to eat. It's ready to eat now. I'm sticking it in there until we're ready for dessert.